Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Communicate to Lead virtual conference. This is the first ever conference virtually that we have done with Communicate to Lead, and we are so excited to have such valuable guests here to share their insights and their knowledge with each of you. So first, we are going to get started with Alex. Alex, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Charlie, thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I love this topic, communicate to lead. So I'm trying to stay calm right now in my seat, but I'm ready to jump up, do jumping jacks, all the fun stuff, because this is where this is the place I love to be.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm excited too. I'm telling you, I think our people who are watching, our participants are definitely going to feel our energy today. So I think that they're in for it. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So I will kick us off. This is a little bit of a fun one, no pressure, but let's say we get on an elevator.
Mm.
I'm going to floor 9. We're currently on floor 5. And I say, Alex, who are you and what do you do? What would you say?
Ooh, that's a good one. Only 4 floors. I might have to slow it down, press stop. No, but no, Charlie, I would say to you is I'm just somebody. I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I'm a guy out here
Mhm.
who's looking to expand Black excellence in the world.
Wow.
And I do that through my coaching, I do that through speaking, I do that through authoring a book and podcasting. That's me in a nutshell.
Wow. So we're like kindred spirits. I think we may be brother and sister with this. So now I'm intrigued. I have now pushed the button. I've slowed it down now.
Mm.
You got to tell me more about this, Alex. So first, kudos to being a father. What do you have? Son, daughter?
Both, yeah. My daughter's 13, my son is 9 at the time right now, and me and my wife have been together for 18 years, married for 14 years. It's a beautiful thing, and we got some dogs too. So
Yeah, you got to throw in the dogs,
yeah,
Alex.
they
You can't
count.
forget
They
the dogs.
count.
That's awesome. And then what's your business? What is it called?
Yeah, my business is Alex Dumas Inc. So it's essentially me, and what I do is help people out. I work with executives, corporate leaders, and thing that I love to play with them is helping them with the number one thing that they can't see yet that's holding their business
Mhm.
back, that's killing it potentially.
And what is that called again? What's your business name?
Alex Dumas Inc.
Alice Dumas Inc. Smart man. You said
Yeah,
my mom gave me a strong name. I'm going to
yeah,
use my name.
yeah. Keep it simple. It was underneath our original umbrella of Abundance Daily Coaching, and I was like, let me just switch it over to this. So either one, right? It's tomato potato to me, but Alex Dumas Inc. is what I lead with, and like I said, with these leaders. The one thing that they can't see that they have not really
Mhm.
that they haven't had awareness of yet is what we're going to be talking about today and what your conference is based off of communicating to lead, and it's a big piece.
That's awesome. So when you're kind of thinking about creating that communication vision, can you kind of give me an example of what you think a business needs to do to create that clear vision? What would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I'm on the stage, when I'm talking to people, when I'm having these conversations, I started with this really simple idea. I called it building a bigger bubble. And people are like, what the hell does it mean? Build a bigger bubble? Like, what's he talking about? So my vision is your vision. And what I see for a leader is, how big is your vision? How big is your dream? How big is your ambition? Is it enough that other people can see themselves inside of it, right? Whether it's your front desk employees, your mid-management level, like, is everybody on board with this piece, right? I'll go to sports because that's probably the easiest example. So I'm a football guy. Even though I'm a Giants fan, we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Everybody in that organization they've got a massive vision for this year. They've won the past 2 Super Bowls, and they have an opportunity to be the first team in NFL history to win 3 in a row. Do you think that's going to be a big plan? Do you think that everybody on board is thinking about that all the time? What's the game plan looking like? What do we have to do in the weight room, right? Just from the athletic standpoint, the medical staff. Hey, do we have the most innovative materials here? Do we have the proper staff trained to make sure that our athletes get on the field and perform? The tech people, hey, are our slides up to date? Oh, do we have the latest technology so our coaches can review film and do these things, right? The the concession stands people, hey, do we have the right stuff that's going to generate enough money that fans going to keep coming back? They're going to have a great experience. the whole picture, the whole bubble. And as we expand, it gets bigger, we get to enroll more people in it. And as a leader, you get to actually start to leverage other people's gifts and talents instead of this place of, I can do it all by myself. I know everything. I'm the smartest person in the room. If you have that mentality, I have a harsh reality for you. You need to be out of that room. If you're the smartest in here, if you're the only one who knows what's going on, if you're the only one who's dreaming big and nobody else is, or no one else is following you, that's a challenge. That's a problem.
No, that's good. That's good. I'm telling you, I like that idea of growing your bubble. I've actually never heard that before, but it makes sense. And so I
Mm,
think that helps us even in our daily decision making, right? It's just being
mm,
able to grow that bubble. It makes me think back when I was in the education system and when kids would walk down the hallway in elementary so they could
yeah.
get from one place to the other, they used to say, make a bubble. And so kids would, I don't know if you ever have seen it, but they'll walk down the hall like this.
I've never seen that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so
I probably could
I
have used
think
that when I was a kid because I was a chatterbox. I was just going off and
I was too. So my bubble was always getting popped up. Yeah. So when you're thinking about that, because I mean, you mentioned so much that I think was really powerful that I would love to be able to kind of expand on. So some of the parts that you were talking about was, hey, do we have the right people on the field? Do we have the, you're really starting to me think methodically and start
yes.
creating systems. And I'm a big systems person.
Yeah.
What would you say? Because it seems like in that those decision times, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made. And
Yeah.
what would be your recommendation to help people make effective decisions during those high stake moments?
Yeah. The high stakes moments. I would
Mm-hmm.
say look at the culture that you're building, right? As far as the vision statement, the mission statement, whatever that might be, what's the end goal here, right? Because we need to be at that place first. I like to when I work with clients one on one, I talk about pulling the future into the now because I have this funny distinction I play with people is like I call it someday island versus now island. And someday island is a very nice place. It's a beautiful place. Don't get me wrong. When I get this, then I'll be happy. Someday, when I reach this dream, when I get this income goal, when I have this partner, whatever it might be in your world, that's
Mm-hmm.
great. There's nothing wrong about aspiring to that. But I
Mm-hmm.
also want them to recognize what's here on Now Island, what's here available to me, what are the resources, what are the opportunities maybe I'm missing that I'm not seeing, and in my opinion, it brings up this space of collaborative creativity. Because if I'm the only person who's driven, who's ambitious, and is going, and nobody else is, and that's not to say that you run your team into the ground, but are other people kind of on the same speed? They might be able to keep up, but are they in the room? Are they still in the same road as me? I'm like, am I just taking off like a marathon runner and everybody else is like trying to get their sneakers on or figure out where the track is, whatever. Collaborative creativity, right? I want to bring out everybody's best ideas. I want to help them bring out the most innovative ideas so that it can support my goal too, right? And it's not manipulation, it's not exploitation. This is business. Can you put the right people in place to get you to where you want to go and even beyond that? And that's where this concept of the bubble comes in. Some people might think of it, right? We're post pandemic, so like a bubble that has a context of like, oh my God, it's excluding, we're quarantined. Like, no, no, no. This is to include people, to expand, to grow, so that others can see themselves inside of it, right? And champion the cause and be advocates and be evangelists, honestly, right? If you and I, Charlie, we're talking about I know I'm going with different examples, but like, say we watch a movie and we like it. There's a good chance that I'm gonna go on social media like, man, you need to go watch this movie, right? I just blew that movie out to thousands of people, and now they're gonna talk about that. They're gonna keep growing, and it's you can't stop a movement like that. So to answer your question, the end in mind is important, and then you as a leader, what's your mentality? Are you open to being adaptable? Are you open to being comfortable when there's a lot of uncertainty? And that happens when you're leading people, right? People have different things that go on. People have babies, people have people in their lives that die, people have all sorts of situations that come up. But if I'm committed to something that I feel that I'm really aligned with, heart led, is also going to benefit me, financially potentially. There's there's more enthusiasm I'm gonna bring to that project. There's more innovation. There's more excitement that I'm gonna bring to that versus we're here again, just another day. It's just just another Monday, just another Tuesday. Like here we go. Let's go through the motions instead of not going through the motions, but seeing like, hey, are these motions the best one we could do? Like, are we constantly tweaking? Are we looking at ways to improve?
Absolutely. When you're thinking about that, because you're absolutely right, it can't be a one-man show.
Yeah.
What would you say, because it's not always easy to motivate your
Yeah.
team, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody doesn't come in just completely pumped up and seeing your vision and be like, yes, I'm ready. Whatever you say, I'm on board. So what do you say to that leader that has that situation? Like, how do they get everybody motivated and empowered and ready to run that race, like you said, and not be
Yeah.
still looking and shuffling around trying to find their sneakers? What's your strategy? What technique do you use to motivate your team?
All right, this is going to sound like a very dirty word, and this is something that hopefully nobody else knows it, but it's this thing called empathy, empathetic leadership, right? Do you care about your people,
Right.
right? And not from a place of like, all right, I only care from 9 to whatever, right? But care from a place of like, do you know them? Do you know what motivates them? Are you tapped into their radio station of WIIFM? What's in it for me?
Mhm.
Are you
Mhm.
locked in on that? And
Mhm.
that, in my experience, has shown that we can be open to more diverse viewpoints, right? We can recognize some of the limitations of that person's knowledge. Like, hey, this person could be skilled in a lot of areas, but like maybe this one thing is like not for them. So what kind of support can I rally around them and how can I serve them to be their best? And that's where I come from as a leader. When I've been in management spaces, I come from the nonprofit space, then transition to sales and marketing and disaster recovery. A lot of the times it's really just about knowing somebody and being with them and just being a decent human being in general, right? Of not a dictator. And then that was mistakes I used to make when I was young. And then I got promoted and moved into management spots when I was in a young age, 24, 25. So I didn't know anything. I'm green as green could be, right? And I made a lot of mistakes. I tried to be hard-nosed guy, and that's not really my personality. I'm a more welcoming, open guy, but I thought, all right, I'm a manager, I'm a boss, so I gotta crack the whip, and people gotta know that I'm in charge. And it really wasn't until I started bringing humanity into my leadership and people start to rally around that people felt comfortable. They knew that they can talk to me about different things. Doesn't mean I have all day to be be on the couch with people, and this is not disrespectful. It's just saying they know that they can approach me, but also I also have a high standard for them, a high standard of excellence, and they want to meet that. It's not a fear-based thing like, oh my God, Alex is gonna can me. He's gonna uh he's gonna bring me up and he's gonna humiliate me in the staff meeting because that stuff happens. I want to acknowledge people. I want to show from a place of, wow, this person is valuable to the team. And just even saying somebody's name, just even looking, I'm like, Charlie, I appreciate how hard you've been working. I know you did a great job on this project, and we couldn't have done this without you. Right? It's a small thing. It's 10 seconds of my day to acknowledge you. But you're going through the rest of the day like, God, Alex on me, Alex. People want to be seen, people want to be valued, just like you as a leader, right? It's it's easy to come from a place of, wow, it's so lonely as a leader. It's lonely at the top. Nobody gets me, nobody understands me, nobody appreciates me. Well, are you showing that to your team? The more you give, there's a good chance that you're going to get that in return.
Thanks. Every time you just coming out the gate with these
Ah,
answers. I'm telling you, if the participants aren't learning right now, then that's by choice. They're literally doing this on purpose to
Yeah.
not get fed today, because I'm telling you, I'm eating right now, just listening to all of these nuggets, because it's true. You know, people, they've done this, they've talked about it over and over. People leave supervisors, not the job. Most people are not applying for jobs they have no business doing and do not want.
Right.
So they're already in their field that they're typically very passionate about. And if you're seeing that your employees just keep leaving and leaving, and you just keep having high turnover, and your
Yeah.
team just is gone, then you do. I tell people, you got to take a look at yourself. What kind of leader are you? And oftentimes, it's not that the person is a terrible person, but they lack empathy.
Yeah.
Life, and we can still get the work done even if we take 2 extra minutes to let Miss Keisha tell us about her baby that just graduated from PV, right? You know, let her tell her story and listen. Because now, after you let her tell her beautiful story about how her son graduated, she's energized, she feels seen, she
Yeah.
feels like you care, and now she's going to work that much harder to get the work done. But when
Yeah.
you're dismissive and everything is work, 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 there's no time to hear anything about what you're going through, what you're happy about, celebrations, then it drains your employees,
Yeah.
right? Their energy is just like sucked out of them, and now their output is meek, because they
Yeah.
just, they don't have it in them.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Who wants to show up to a place that they resent, right?
Right.
You think about somebody on the first day of their job versus the last day. The first day, they're on early, they want to put out the best foot
Mhm.
forward, they want to really
Right.
show up and be impressive. And then by the end, it's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna take like another lunch break. You know, they owe me, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
how does that happen? I mean, and this is speaking
Right.
for me. I used to work for a huge telecom company. I'm not gonna say their name, but it rhymes with Verizon. And I was wildly uncomfortable in my position, not because of the leadership, because in my own role, I didn't feel comfortable like knowing what to do. So I would do
Right.
things like go to the snack room, right? Go by the water cooler. I was that guy, like, oh man, it's been a long day. You know what? It's 11:45. I could take an early lunch. I've worked really hard. You know, I used to hide in the bathroom so I wouldn't like have to talk
Mhm.
to customers, right? Like
Mhm.
this is where I was coming from. And it's not the
Mhm.
leader's fault. I mean, it is to a degree, but it's on me too, of
Mhm.
I didn't feel skilled enough and I didn't feel comfortable enough asking for what I needed in terms of support. I would kind of lean on some of the other service managers around me, but for the most part, you're in this island, you're in this silo, and you have to kind of figure it out for yourself. And if you're uncomfortable or if you're unsure and uncertain, that's affecting the work. Now the customer's like, well, do they even know what they're doing? Like, you know, I might take my business somewhere else. How much does that cost? Right. So train your people right, support them, serve them, and also just be an example. Are you as a leader, are you showing up with a smile on your face? Are you showing up to the air to the space with the energy of, man, this is gonna be a great day. We're gonna make some we're our business is gonna help people today. Our business is gonna make a difference in people's lives. Or is it like, well, the stockholders are beating down my neck. They're coming on me. They're weighing me down. I have to figure this out. Leadership sucks.
That's true. Now the hiding in the bathroom now, Alex. Now you got me going back to my principal days. That's a nasty place to hide out. I look at these sixth grade girls. I'm like, y'all been in here for forget skipping class. Ew, y'all been in the bathroom for 2, 3 periods. I can't
Uh,
sit in the bathroom, Alex.
hey, listen, we got social media, you got your phone. You start playing some games on the phone.
Oh,
Time time flies by, and you're like, oh, I guess I got to go back now. Someone's gonna notice.
you know, you're gonna regret saying this now, because since you said you have kids, if you ever get that call from
Yeah.
an assistant principal that says, "Hey, baby Alex skipped first period," you say, "Where was he? He was in the bathroom." You better just hang up right
Yeah.
there. Just hang up and just, oh Lord, he done took after me.
No, my kiddos, I will say this, they love school, they love learning, they are little sponges. So I'm like, I'm just nurturing that. I'm staying in the back, hands off, like keep on learning, learn,
Yes.
apply it, and keep going.
No, I bet. I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
But you are right though. You are right about as a leader how we have to make sure that we pull our employees in and make them feel safe so they can ask us questions if they're feeling like they're lost. So they're not hiding out and trying to avoid the work.
Yeah.
Uh, that kind of leads me to when you do kind of have an employee or somebody on your team that's not pulling their weight potentially, or there are ways that we know that they can improve. How do you go about giving constructive feedback? So to,
Hmm.
potentially to that person that you know could do better.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Dude, my first
Constructive
thought is
feedback.
honestly my first thought is stories, right?
Mhm.
What's a story that's relatable that you've gone through, that you experienced, that
Mhm.
it may not be the same exact thing. If it is, that's great. If it's not, that's great as well. But opening up and being vulnerable and letting them like, you know what, hey, listen, I had a challenge like this back in when I first started or in this season of my journey. And this is actually what kind of benefited me. I started to just slow down, take a little extra time with before I hit send, right? Let me
Mhm.
review that. Maybe have somebody else on the team. Like, can you just look over this for real quick or get clear on the I don't want to say object the expectations, but like really, what's the agreement here? If I had to get something done at a certain point, let's get crystal clear on what that looks like so that there's no miscommunication or just no going back and forth like, hey, Charlie, you said you're gonna send me this thing, but this is wrong. Like, what do you mean it's wrong? I did it just the way you said it, and right, and now it can turn into a well, he doesn't listen to me and she's listening to her, right? So with this particular employee, what's the story that you have that you can relate with them on? How can you just share with them that, hey, listen, I get it. And also, I know you can rise to this, right? And it's a challenge. And I come from an athletic background, right? Football, boxing, taekwondo. So whenever my coaches have been like, hey, I know you can do more than this, I'm the kind of person that receives that and says, you know what, they're right. Versus, oh no, I'm such a moron, I'm such a failure. Why didn't I do this? And I'm getting in my head like, I don't know if I can throw this punch or make this move. It's like, no, no, they believe in me. So that's the real challenge for you as a leader. Do you believe in your people? And can they feel that? Can you connect a real quality that they know is true with the acknowledgement or compliment and also weave in that feedback of, you know what, Charlie, you're an excellent communicator, you're an excellent host of things, you're an excellent um, community mobilizer. And I think that with one or two things, we can actually get this objective complete. Like, what do you feel about that, right? And also getting back to them too. Don't just like, all right, this is what you're gonna do it. How do you feel about that? Do you feel capable of that? Like, what support do you think you might need in there? So it's a real collaborative effort. And this is bubble expansion time, right? That person knows that, all right, I can actually have other resources versus maybe thinking I have to do it all on my own. I, I can't let anybody know that I'm messing up in this, and they're now in their bubble shrinking internally of, oh my God, hopefully nobody finds out that I don't know what I'm doing. That was my problem when I used to work at said telecom place or other spaces. When I would shrink, when I would hide, nobody wins in that in that capacity. When I've been willing to raise my hand and say, you know what, I don't really get this. Can someone explain it to me? Can someone like spend like 10, 15 minutes with me? Because I want to understand it. So it's my initiative too. I'm driving that and then being open to receiving, oh, this is where I've been messing up, or this is where I can improve. Okay, got it. Roger that, and check in with people.
And it sounds like you're going back to being that empathetic leader again, because
Yeah.
instead of you just coming in and telling them, hey, you're doing this, and this wrong, I hear that you had a lot of empathy with that, where you tried to find a story where they could feel connected to you and they could see the human side of you. And then
Yeah.
that way, when you're giving your feedback, it feels like it's a safe place. It's hard to take feedback when you don't trust the person. Yeah,
Yeah.
because then you're like, are you about to fire me?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to grow me? You want to
Yeah.
fire me or grow me? Because I'm gonna take it two different ways. And so it sounds like you did an excellent job of being able to connect with people, which I tell people goes back to relationship building. We don't
Yes.
have to be best friends. We don't need to Kit Kat on the phone after this. Right, exactly. Did you just give me an air high five? I feel like we're on trolls now.
Yeah.
I just told I have a 3-year-old, clearly, right? I'm thinking about trolls.
I love Toronto.
I can't. But it's true, right? We don't have to be besties, but we need to have a relationship that you understand that I actually care about the work that's getting done from a place of trust. So, like, hey, I actually want you to grow. When you're talking about you being an athlete, your coaches actually wanted to see you win and be successful. So you could take that feedback. But if you're a leader where they're always worried that every time you talk to them, it's going to be
Yeah.
negative and you're going to put them down and it feels like another opportunity to get written up, then people are just going to shut down. So I like how you really talked about leading with some type of story, because stories connect people.
Yeah.
I love a good story.
Yeah.
Me and my
Nobody.
husband go back and forth about Kevin Hart. He's not like the biggest Kevin Hart fan. He knows he's talented, but he's like, and I said, I'll tell you what it is about Kevin Hart.
Right.
It's his ability to tell stories. He
Yes.
is an excellent storyteller. And when I said that, my husband was like, okay, I see what you mean. You're right.
Mm,
That man can tell a story. And so there is
yeah.
power in storytelling.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I love you bringing up a comedian. I mean, they're massive, right? From Chappelle, Chris Rock, Bill Burr,
Mhm.
Louis
Mhm.
C.K. Like you go down the list, right? They have a way of, I mean, and of course that's their job, that's their profession of being the story, right? Embodying it, and also
Yeah.
being able to have the eagle view of like, wow, this they can point out the ridiculousness in something so small, like a mundane thing,
Right.
right? I talking about Kevin Hart, right? One of his first early especially before like he really blew up. And he was just talking about his daughter and kind of talking trash to him as a little baby, like, juice. Like every parent knows what that feeling's like when you're like, who are you talking to? Right? You're having this full-on argument with this beautiful creature that has no
Right.
idea, has no real context. They just know, like, I want that thing, you're not getting to me. Like, they don't know how to communicate, they don't know how to express it yet. You can see
Mhm.
it, but he did it in his own masterful way. But every time I think about it, I'm like, that is so true. That
Mhm.
is dead on.
That is
That is
that's
it.
parent life.
Yeah.
I almost want to set you up and make you do that again. that just that probably made joy for me for the whole interview. I was gonna say, "How's the interview today?" I was like,
Unganga juice. Like,
if you don't get anything out of today's
yes.
session conversation, just take that right there. No, I love it, but it's true. It connects people. It humanizes people. So I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Alex, I know because I could sit here and probably talk to you all day. There's so much enjoyment in talking about leadership and communication and just people. But as we kind of start coming to a close, I know that people are always struggling in this area, and I want to see your insight on it. Is when we're looking at how to cope with this work-life balance, right? Like
Mhm.
all the stress, maintaining resilience, there's just so many pieces to leading others, right? Where
Yeah.
it could consume you. And so, what would you say to leaders that need help with balancing their work and their personal life effectively?
Yeah. Yeah. Great question. So this is going to be another controversial thing, but I'm going to say it how I say it because this is how I feel about it. This idea of balance is BS, right? It doesn't exist because right now, you and me, Charlie, we're having this conversation. I got my family. You have a family. So we have to remove our families for a moment of time to have this conversation. If I was trying to balance it, I would have my son in here. I mean, he's 9 now, but I'm just thinking you brought up a 3-year-old. So I'm like, when he was 3, I would be in here with him, right? This is him. So Charlie, I'm being a good dad. Like, yeah, but I'm not, because I'm not present with you. I'm not actually contributing to you, to the audience, to people who are need me. So what I look for is the harmony of life. I want to make sure that, and this is a big principle for leaders to get in there. And if you can get it right, this is the time. Maybe you want to do like one of these, one finger in your ear, so it doesn't go in and it doesn't go out. Right. This is the time for it to stay in. But where are you at where it comes to completion? Because this is the thing that holds people back when they're trying to balance things. They don't complete. Once we're done with this conversation, it's over. And I don't mean I'm like, oh my God, I'll never talk to Charlie again. I just mean like this space is over. I'm done. I've completed what I meant to do, and I can move on to the next thing I want to take care of. So that might be playing video games with my kids. I might be taking a walk with them. I do that, I'm complete, and I'm gonna go on to the next thing. And it sounds kind of robotic. It sounds kind of uncaring. It sounds almost unempathetic, but it actually is the best thing I can do for them and for myself, to be present with somebody, complete the task, then move on. Because the last thing you and I would need is me thinking about, well, what's the email I didn't send before? Oh God, did I call this person back? Oh my God. Oh, did we send out the orders? Did we get the project done? And how many times does this happen in a conversation with a leader, right? Where, let's just say you come into my office. Hey, Charlie, hold on. One thing. I got this guy on the phone, and I got the book. What do you want to do? Hey, I got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're in a frenzy. Their minds aren't even slowed down to being here with me. So in my work is a little bit different, because as a coach, as a speaker, this is my life's work. So this is what I love to do. I'll do it till the day I die. And I also recognize that I cannot coach all day, every day. It's just not possible for me. So I find the pockets of time where it's my time for exercise. And when I do it, I'm going to do it. It's not going to be all right, I'm in the gym. Okay, I think I'm done. Or I'm going to talk to people in the mirror, or like take selfies. Like, no, I'm here to get something done. It's time to work. It's time to execute. It's time to get the things done that I'm here to do. And I think if you can be a time warrior in that sense, right? Almost like a samurai of, what am I saying yes to? What am I going to say no to? What are the things that are feeding me? What are the things that are actually benefiting me, that serve me, that can actually help me expand the bubble, that contribute to that? Versus, uh, I don't want to disappoint this person. I already have enough on my plate. I'm already swamped. So what's one more thing? No, there's no balance. There's no harmony in that. Get the thing done, complete. Next thing, complete, complete, and you'll sleep better at night. Your family will thank you for it. Your employees will thank you for it. Your board members, your stakeholders, everyone will thank you for it, because they know that, okay, when Charlie's here, she gets the job done. We don't have to worry about her. We don't have to be like, oh my God, like, hopefully do you think she can come? Like, right? There's those little whispers in people's heads, like, is she really? I don't know. It's like, oh, she's here. She's got it. She's on it. I don't have to worry about that. And that actually relieves me. That gives me a sense of security, that my leader here is not all over the place. And that actually influences me, like, oh, no, what? They're on their job. Let me get on their level, right? Back to the track thing. Let me get my shoes on. They're here. I'm here too. I'm with it.
Listen to you and everything you might say. Because I just am right there with you, and something that resonates with me, that I love to speak about, and I go out and that's what I do a lot of workshops around, is time management. It is something that we do in America. I have no idea why, but we like to brag about how long we spend on things. We'll be like,
I'm so
you'll hear,
busy.
yeah, exactly. They'll be like, girl, I stayed up all night working on this. And all I hear is mismanagement of time.
Oh,
because
right.
yeah, like they're bragging, like, oh, I stayed up all night, and I'm thinking, why that task shouldn't have taken that long, and sometimes it stings a little bit for people to hear that, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
like, you're not getting a gold medal for mismanaging your time.
Right.
If you take your time, like you just said, and you're present in whatever you're working on, then you have to take time to also set aside how much time each thing is going to take. So, like our meeting today, you probably have already seen. I was pretty organized leading up to today.
Yeah.
You knew, hey, she scheduled this amount of time for it. This is what we're going to talk about, so
Yeah.
that way, when it happens, and when it's over, it's over. And you have to do that. People put a whole bunch of things on their schedule because they don't actually take the time to slow down and say, how long is each one of these things going to take? So
Yeah.
I can make sure that I'm not overloading myself or underloading myself and then just spending an excessive amount of time on things that should only take an hour. This conversation,
Yeah.
people are able to get what they need to get from our conversation within this hour. It should not take 3 hours of listening to Alex and Charlie in one
Like
conversation.
SpongeBob 3 hours later, like
Exactly. Leadership, right? So I think you're absolutely right about that, is just being present in what you're doing. And so that you can actually shut it off when it's over. I think that's perfect. Side note, I probably need to show you pictures of my son, because yes, he's 3, but I cannot hold him like this. That boy is big.
I know, and I've like I my mind my sense of age is so warped because I was going in a grocery store earlier and I saw this guy with a newborn. I'm like, so that's my pit. Like every baby under 5 is like, I could just pick them up like this. Like, no,
I
like
did.
it would be like
Yes,
this, trying to hold them
yes.
like they're
It
tanks.
made me laugh. I was like, "Oh, he's in the sweet spot." He said his baby's 9. Must be nice, because he just scooped his 3-year-old like this. And
Yeah.
if I try to scoop my son is standing almost chest high to me, and I'm over here telling this boy here, like, we go in public, and he's like, "Mommy, pick me up." I'm like, "Boy." They're gonna think I'm holding a 6-year-old, but no. It made me laugh when I saw you, but it's true, right? You have to be present in that moment and what you're doing. So I agree.
Yeah.
Alex, I have just enjoyed talking to you. I think I really, really hope and pray that, those that are watching are really being able to gain something from this. Like you said, close one ear so that you could be a sponge and really get this knowledge, because it's not easy to be a leader. And
No.
so you have to hear from those that have done it, those that love it, to be able to really get good at it. And I'm still learning all the time from other leaders to just perfect my craft of leadership as well. So I want to formally say thank you, thank you, thank you, Alex, for coming on this platform, Communicate to Lead virtual conference, and sharing your insights with us. And I want to leave with the opportunity for you to share with us any final thought. If you could give just one piece of advice to the leaders watching this today, what would you say?
Mm.
One piece of advice. Take some
One.
time to think about it.
Oh, it's over. Game on. Leaders. 2 words for you that are going to make the biggest difference in the success or potential failure of what you do in your business and your team. Slow down. Slow down, and you'll watch how much they'll actually speed you up.
Slow down to watch God speed you up. That's a perfect close to
Yeah.
today's conversation. Again, Alex, thank you so much. Please lead us with how we could get in contact with you. For those that want to connect with you, what do they need to do?
Yeah, for sure. You can go on my website, alexdumascoaching.com. You can learn about my one-on-one offerings. There's some free resources from podcasts and other audios that I have for you. You can grab the audio book that I'm releasing very soon. Also on LinkedIn, Alex Dumas, ALEXDUMAS. Connect with me on there. I'm a real person. There's no bots. So if you message me, you reach out to me, I will answer back, usually with a voice note too. So listen to this episode so you're like, oh, this is not a AI scramble voice. This is the real guy. So those are 2 ways. And there's a gift for you here. So just go to the link that's in the description here, put in that code WIN, and you get some free goodies from me.
Thank you, Alex. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Charlie. You too. Thank you. Stay blessed.